Hello, you are most welcome. Yeah, it's Henry the computer guy, and in this video, we are going to be learning how to work with the support files. Actually, support files are meant to be used by candidates sitting USCE, Uneb subsidiary ICT, either paper 2 or paper 3. And they were introduced by Uneb in 2016 for use by the candidates during their ICT practical exam. So first of all, we are going to be getting an understanding of what support files are, how to obtain them, how to open them, and lastly, we'll be getting a simple question to see how we can work with them. So without wasting any time, let us begin by understanding what support files are. Support files are files that are provided to students in soft copy for use during their ICT practical exam. And they're actually in different formats. For example, we can have them as Word document files, we can have them as spreadsheet files, text files, we can have them as image files, database files, and so many others. So these files are always going to be referred to in the question, for example, using their file names or file extensions. Therefore, a learner may be asked to perform different tasks, for example, loading or opening a given file, saving it as, copy and pasting it somewhere, inserting different graphics or images, formatting different paragraphs, replacing certain content, etc. Therefore, what is required of a learner or candidate is to know how to locate the required support file and be able to attempt the different questions. So having understood what support files are, let's see how we can obtain them. So first of all, what we are going to do is to open our browser. And having opened our browser, we are going to be typing this URL, which is the erig.uneb.sc.uk. Then press enter. Having pressed enter, you're going to be brought to this area where we have the Uneb e-registration portal. Remember, the first option we can use to obtain these files is by clicking on the option that says resources, whereby we are given these resources down here publicly. That means that you can always download them if you don't have the login details. So you can always come and download them from this section. Another way we can do this is to come and log into our e-registration portal for our school by clicking on the option that says login. And having clicked on login, you're going to be taken to this section whereby you'll put in your username and the password. That means that the username is going to be the center number for your school, and you also put the password. Then click on the option that says login. And having clicked on login, you're going to be taken to your e-registration portal where you can always be able to download the support files by either coming to the option that says resource or announcements and resources. And when you come to this option, the resources are going to be right here. So you can always click on the support files and they are always ready for download. So having done that, they're always going to be taken to your download section. For example, when we come to our computer or my PC, I'll come and right click on it. I'll come and click on the option that says open, then come to the option that says downloads. And when you come to the downloads, those support files are going to be found in this section. So that means that you can always copy them to any location of your choice. So now for my case, I've already pasted them into the folder called support, and it's the one we are going to be working with. Let me close this. So when I come and open my folder, by right clicking and clicking on the option that says open, our support files are here. But remember, for you to be able to open these support files, you must have installed a software called WinRAR. That is a file archive utility that we can use to always access or open these files. So if you don't have it, I'm going to be putting it under the description below on my channel, so you'll be able to download it from there. So we first of all first install WinRAR. Having installed WinRAR, we'll be able to open our support files. But it is always a right way to first extract the information from that archive, then you can always give them to your learners. For example, let's see how we can extract these files from this archive. So I'm going to be right clicking onto it, then come to the option that says show more options, then come to the option that says extract files. And having clicked there, I can give it a location where I want it to be. For example, I want it to go to the desktop, so I'll select the desktop. So I'll come and say OK. And having clicked that, my files have been brought to the desktop. So I can now use these files whenever I feel I want. For example, if I come and I open it, right click and click on the option that says open. These files are going to be just available for me for use. So we have the folder for images, we have a document, we have a production, we have another one called the test. So these are the files that we are going to be working with. But remember, for our case, we are going to be using one question to see how we can work with this support file. Let me close it. Having closed it, we are having a Uneb question we are going to be using, that is for 2020 paper 2. I'm going to be opening it again, and it's the one we are going to be working with. So question 1 tells us that using a word processing application, open the file called the production and save it as your name and person number. So we are going to go and first of all create our folder where we are going to be saving that information. For example, I'll come onto my desktop, I'll right click, then come to the option that says new, then I will click on folder. So I'm going to be calling this one Henry. I'm going to be calling it Henry 001. That is my folder I'm going to be using to save my files. So I'll come back to my question. Remember, they have told us that we are going to be loading a file called the production. And this production is in the support folder. So it's the one that we are going to be accessing and load it. Or loading means that we are going to be opening it. So having loaded it, then we'll be able to do more other questions. So let's minimize this one and attempt that. So we can close this one also, then come to our support folder, then we use it. Let me right click on it and click on the option that says open. And having opened it, we are going to be locating a file called the production. Remember, the question was telling us to load a file called the production. So I'm going to double click on it, then it will be able to open for me. And having double clicked on it, this is how it is displayed. So I can maximize it and you see what we are actually having. This is what I'm having into this file. So let's go to another question and first of all read it and understand. So they are telling us that we are supposed to save it as our name and personal number. Let's click on save. So we are going to come to the option that says file. And having clicked on file, we are going to be looking for the option that says save as. We are not going to use save, we are going to use save as. Remember, we want to change the location and the name. So we have to pick save as. So when you click on save as, it's going to give you a dialog box and you look for the location where you're going to be saving that file again. So I will come and look for my desktop from here. Then I will come and look for the folder called Henry 001. Then I will click on it and open. And having opened it, I'm going to be putting a name for my file. So let me wrap this. I'm going to be calling it Henry 001 again. Henry 001. Then I can as well come here down and change the file format. For example, I need it as a document, so I will come and select Word document. Having selected it, I'll come and click save. So I'm now ready to begin making the changes that I need. Let me first of all zoom in a little so that we can be able to see the whole information clearly, just like that. So our name is here. It is saved as Henry 001. So that is question 1 done. So when you come here, they are telling us that part B, we are going to be copying the text and paste it to the next page. So we can minimize this again. So for you to be able to copy this, we first of all have to highlight it. So I'm going to be selecting this information, then put it onto page 2. So I will come and highlight my information. And having highlighted it, I'm going to be clicking on option that says copy. Then we need another page where we are going to be pasting this information. So what I'm going to do is to click below this work. Then come to the option that says insert. then come to the option that says blank page. So I'm going to be getting a blank page where to paste my information. So I'll click on it. And having clicked on it, they have given me the second page. So that means that I will come to the option that says home, then click on paste. So we have two copies now. We have the first copy and we have the second copy that we have just pasted now. So let's come back to our question, and they're telling us that part C, add a suitable title for the text and set it to this following. So we are going to first of all make it as a title. So we come back to our work, then come back and put a heading. For example, you first of all have to read through and know what the information is all about. Then afterwards, you can put a title for that text. So what are we going to do? We need the title up here, but we don't have space where to put it. So what we are going to do is to click at the beginning of our first sentence, then press enter. And having pressed enter, we are going to come and click back again using the arrow keys that points up. Then we come and write our title here. For example, I'm going to be writing it as agriculture. I'm going to be writing it as agriculture. So this is going to be my title. So I'll highlight it and come to the styles. Remember, we need it as a title. So I'm going to pick the one I feel I want. Let me choose this. So I've put it as my title. Then we come to the other questions. They are telling us that we have to change it to Times New Roman and size 26. So we come and do that. So we come and select it. We come and choose the Times New Roman and come and look for Times New Roman. Then the size is going to be 26. We come and look for 26. That is what we have. Then when we come back to the question, it is telling us that we can also make it bold. We come back again, then we make it bold. Already it is bold, so we don't need to do it again. So we come to question D, and they're telling us that we are going to be formatting the text into two columns. That means that whichever thing that we are going to be doing, we are going to be doing it on the second pasted copy that we have. So what we are going to do is to highlight our information again. Then when we want to put columns into our work, we are going to be coming to the tab that says page layout. When we come to the page layout, we are going to be looking for the option that says columns. We're going to be selecting the two columns from here. But remember, there are more options you can work with. Down here, you can say more options. For example, when they tell you, for example, how many columns, you can always increase them from here. You can always put the width, the spacing. You can also include a line between these columns that you have created. But for our case, they only wanted the columns without any additional questions. So that's what we are going to go with. So I'm going to click OK. And having clicked OK, this is how our information has appeared. You see the changes? Let's come back to another question. And they are telling us that insert in the document any two pictures from the image folder. That means that we are going to go back to our support folder. We see whether we have some images. Let's minimize the two. So we come to the folder for images and double click on it. And having double clicked on it, we are going to be picking these photos or images that are matching what we are talking about, which is agriculture. So I'm going to be picking the first one by clicking on it, right click on it, and click on the option that says copy. After clicking on copy, I'll go back to my work. Then I'll come and click where I want that image to be. For example, I want it to be here. So I'll come and say paste. So the image is finally here. We can even press enter for it, for the text to be below. This is the information now we have for the moment. So we have to go and get another image. Remember, they said we have to get two of them, then we insert it into our work. I'm going to come back to our folder again, then look for another. Let's see, copy this one. Come to more options, then click on the option that says copy, come back to our work, then we can click anywhere we feel we want to paste it. For example, I want to paste it here. I'll come and say paste, and that's what we have for now. So these are the changes that we have actually made to our document. Let's read another question and see. So the question is telling us that we can add a drop cap in the appropriate paragraph. We can put it anywhere that we feel we want. Let's come back to our work. Then we are going to come to the, let's say, the first paragraph, highlight the first letter because it's the one we want to make as a drop cap. So we'll come to the option that says insert. Then look for the option that says drop cap. Remember, there are different drop caps we can use here, but we also have more options we can work with. For example, when we click onto this one, we can come and select either the dropped or the in margin. It depends on exactly what the question wants you to do. Then we can come and choose the font we want to use. We can also choose the number of lines that this letter or drop cap is going to be taking. Then we can also choose the distance from the text by either making the changes here. So they have not talked about them, so we can as well leave them. So click OK. And having clicked OK, that is our drop cap. Let's come to another question and see. And they're telling us that we are going to set the phrase food people demand in the first paragraph on the first page to link it to the title on the second page. So we are going to be making a link from the first page to the second page. Let's come back and look for that word that says food that people demand. So I'm coming to my work. Then we come to the first page they told us. We come and scroll back to our first page. We look for that word, food people demand. This is the word they want us to link to the title that we created down here, which is going to be agriculture. So what we are going to do is to look for the link. You'll come to your insert tab, then come and look for the hyperlink. And having clicked on the hyperlink, I want to create that link in the same document. So I will come and look for place in this document. And having clicked on it, of course, our title is going to be indicated here. So we'll be selecting it and say OK. And having clicked OK, our link has been created. So we have created a link from the first page to the second page where we have our title. And whenever you want to see how that link works, you're going to go to that link, press Ctrl and click on it, so it will be able to take you to where it has been linked to. So that one is also done. Let's come back to our other question and look for it. They're telling us that we are supposed to insert the current date and time in as the header. So we come back to our work. Then we come and look for the header. For example, whenever you want to access the header, you can always double click at the top of your document of any page. For example, when I come here, I will double click here. They will take me to my header. And if I want the footer again, I can just go down to the footer section. So you can always work with the header and the footer when you feel you want or when you're told to do so. So I'm going to be looking for the date and time. So I will click on it and be able to select any date that I feel I want. For example, I'm going to be using this. Then if I want it to be updated automatically, I'm going to be selecting this option that says update automatically. So I'll come and say okay. And having put it there, you can as well decide to put it either in the center, can either decide to put it in the center, on the right, or just fine, depending on how the question wants you to work upon it. So that is how we can do it. So we can close the header and the footer section. So our header is here. And remember, the header goes to all the pages that you have. Even up here, we have it. So let's go back and work with another question. And another question is telling us that we are supposed to insert a watermark of our choice. So we come to our work again, then we come to the option that says page layout, and having clicked on the page layout, we come to the section that says page background. So on the page background, we have some options here. We are going to be selecting the watermark. And when we click on the drop down arrow, it is showing us that we can put some of these ones, for example, confidential, but we don't want this. We want to customize our watermark such that we can put in a word that we feel we want. So what we are going to do is to come to the option that says custom watermark. And having clicked on the custom watermark, you're going to give it some time to load for you where you're going to be putting your items. And what they're asking here is that either you can use a picture watermark by coming here and browse for it. If you don't want to use a picture watermark, you can as well come and use the text watermark, whereby you can be able to type your own words. For example, I'm going to be typing there, let's say, agriculture again. Agriculture. Then after putting that word, you can always choose the font, you can always choose the size, you can always choose the color. For example, if I want it to be red, if I want it to be either the layout diagonal, let's say horizontal, semi-transparent, you can always look for any that you feel you want or what the question is asking for. After that, you click on the option that says apply, then you say okay. You can even close. So you're seeing that your watermark is just there into your work. So this is our watermark, just because that it is just behind the work that we are having. So let's come back and look at the next question. And they're telling us that we are going to be saving and printing our work. Let's come back to our work again. And having come back to our work, for us to save, already we created this work and saved it. So we are just going to keep on adding onto that work. So we are going to be looking for the option that says save. And having clicked on save, our work is finally saved. So we can as well decide to print it by coming to the option that says file, then click on the option that says print. And when you come to this section, they will ask you the number of copies you want. You'll be able to choose the printer that you're going to be using. How many pages are we going to be choosing? All the pages. You're going to be choosing on both sides or one-sided. You can always deal with anything that the question talks about. How many pages do you want per sheet? You can say 2, 1, 3. It depends on exactly what the question is telling you. And this is what will be appearing onto our paper. So this is how we can work with the support file. So it's been Henry the Computer Guy. Thank you for being such a good audience. In the next video, we are going to be looking at other videos on how we can work with the support files. Bye-bye. I sign out.